Hey everybody, welcome back to the Pub Trivia Experience. My name is Chris, and we are gathered here tonight for what might be the most niche game we've ever had on the Pub Trivia Experience. But I was inspired going to SporkleCon, everybody. SporkleCon. I don't know why I said it that way. SporkleCon, everybody. And what it inspired
wasn't even in Boston.
What it inspired me to do is try and get better at writing trivia questions. So this is my first attempt at improvement. And I have four suckers here playing. If you can't tell by the title of this episode is U.S. history, but more specifically, U.S. history focused on and around U.S. vice presidents.
Oh, crap. I thought it was going to be about the show Veep.
Yes.
I've been binging Veep all week.
Hey, Google, write me 20 trivia questions about Veep. All right, we're good. All right, so the way this game is going to work is a little bit different. But before I get into that, let's meet the suckers who decided to give up a couple of hours on a Thursday night. Instead of watching football, which is right there, let's meet them. First up, let's go to Raleigh, North Carolina. Jeff Woodhead, my friend. How you doing? What are you drinking?
I'm doing all right. Wondering what this football is that you speak of. It must be that thing that happens before basketball season, I guess. It is. I am drinking my homebrew amber ale and realizing I know absolutely jack shit about the vice presidents. And I know a decent amount about the presidents. Vice presidents? Nope, not so much. So this is going to be interesting. I wish you all good luck here.
He's still going
to win. Oh, you know him, you love him. Let's head up to Huntsville, Alabama. Mike Mott, my friend. How you doing? What are you drinking?
Chris, I'm doing well, although I realized, given that this is a vice president themed game, rather than the beverage that I chose, I probably should have just gotten myself a bucket of warm piss. That's what the vice presidency is worth, apparently, according to certain individuals who were, in fact, vice president. But instead, I picked out a beer that may have been the nickname of a vice president at some point in history. If not, it should have been. This is the Old Chub from the Oscar Blues Brewery, which, of course, is out of the Denver, Boulder area. I forget exactly where, but it's a Scotch ale. I hadn't had one in a long time, and I saw it at the store, and I was like, I'm going to pick one up.
It is perhaps surprisingly not what Warren Harding called his dick.
I want to point out that's the one time Jeff Woodhead chose to speak into the microphone, was to make that comment.
As you do.
All right. Let's head on up to the most green state we have. We're going to Vermont. Ian Schulze, my friend, how you doing? What are you drinking?
I am doing well. I'm glad to be in this recording after what turned out to be a little bit longer day than I expected. I am drinking from Vermont Spirits, the number 14 bourbon whiskey finished with Vermont maple syrup. I've never tried this before, so I got a small bottle to see how I like it. And let's see if I can get this to pop. I don't know if that came out.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's good pop. Good.
And let's pour a little glass here, or a big glass, whichever.
We call that brain lubricant.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. The maple's not too heavy. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Ooh. Bourbon with a sweet finish would probably be more dangerous than bourbon by itself is. So
it is. It really is.
100%.
Now is the part of the game where I get to plead ignorance. Adam, I don't know where you're from, but from somewhere drinking something. Adam Wendell, my friend, how you doing? What are you drinking?
I'm doing just fine. I'm in the DC suburbs.
Okay.
In Maryland here. And I have a homebrew, but it is not my own homebrew. We have some neighbors that had a house fire recently.
Oh, no.
So we helped, the entire neighborhood helped them out. But as a thank you, Marcel, who is German, gave us a bottle of his brew. So we've got Schmidtbrau IPA, 7.4 ABV here. I did open it earlier, so I put a wine stopper in here so I could get at least some sound.
It's a good
Nice.
sound.
Oh, that was
There you go.
throaty. Yeah.
Mhm.
Throaty.
Pour out the rest of this into this. There we go.
Oh, that's a good pour too.
Yeah. A little too much head on that, but
It's
that's
a good
all
looking beer, though. I like the color. I like the
right.
color. on it.
It's dark for an IPA, but it's
Yeah.
good.
Well, I guess it's my turn. This is on a recommendation from our friend Ian here. This is from the Litchfield Distillery up in Connecticut. I had a chance to go there while we were doing a Gilmore Girls kind of tour through Connecticut. Right there, Litchfield Distillery.
All right, that sounds fun as hell.
Dude, we ended up driving through like 3 or 4 little towns in North Connecticut, like Northwest Connecticut's freaking beautiful. Those towns are lovely. But then I looked up Zillow, and yeah,
Nope.
no.
Nope.
Not a chance.
Nope. It's nice to drive
Before
through.
that, it is nice to drive through, and it was nice to get a $13 ice cream for my daughter. But yeah, no.
Yeah, we stayed in Unionville when we were up there this summer for a weekend. And yeah, beautiful area.
Well, this is their 90 proof double. Was it their double oak, double barrel? They call it. It's the same thing. Double oak, double cast, double barreled. It's all the same thing. But I am a big fan of this distillery, and I'm going to have myself a big glass of bourbon. My friends, thank you for joining me tonight. Cheers.
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 I am.
That is just so damn good. Like, I'm sorry, bourbon from Connecticut has no right being this good. That's a really good bottle. All right. So here's how tonight's game is going to go. We got 5 rounds.
Like
In those 5 rounds of trivia, round number 1 is going to be a point builder round. The point builder round will work as so. You're each going to play this game. It is similar to a pregame that we have on another game, one of our regular games, but 10 questions, 50-50. It's going to be a yes or no answer. If you get the question right, you'll get 2 points. If you get it wrong, you get 0. So you have an opportunity to go into the game with up to 20 points per player. You're all going to play every question that we have. Once we go into the main game, there's 4 rounds. Each round has 4 questions. Each correct answer is worth 10 points. Here's where we get a little interesting. After each round of trivia, we are going to have a wager round. That wager round is a pseudo-matching game. But it does require that you pay attention to the questions and answers that you just answered. The questions
what'd
and the
you
answers
say?
that
That was a joke. Sorry.
Words are tough, Ian. Educated in Florida, man. Give me it's a low bar to cross. Just be happy I can read. Usually. So the way that is going to work is simple. You're going to get the questions up front, and you will decide at that point in time, are you going to opt in or opt out of the wager round? For each question in the wager round, you can wager up to 5 points. However, if you opt in, you must wager at least 1 point per question. All right, so there's a maximum of 20 in that round that you can get. If you opt out, you are not playing the wager round. You'll move on to the next round of trivia with however many points that you have. Does that make sense?
Mostly.
Yes.
After round 5, there's no wagers. There's nothing. Whoever is leading after round 5 is your winner.
Rock and roll.
All right.
Let's jump right in to our point builder round. Standard lock-in rules apply, and we'll see how easy or hard this one is. I think this will err on the side of easy for this group, but we'll see. I'm going to list you a U.S. president. All you have to tell me is, did they serve as vice president before they were president?
And I'm assuming at all, not immediately before.
At all.
Okay.
Were they ever a vice president before becoming president?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Lock in when you're ready. We'll start with your first one here. Your first president, Chester Arthur.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Yeah, locked in. Sorry.
All right. Ian.
Yes, he was.
Adam.
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yep, he was elevated to the office after Garfield was assassinated.
Jeff takes all of my flavor text, so he will be answering first going forward.
I
What?
didn't include the
I'm with-
flavor text because I didn't know if it was going to come up later,
That was me. I'm withholding all information just in case.
right?
I will say the president/vice presidents listed here, if they come up later, they will come up maybe as a clue in a question, but they will not be an answer.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
Your next
Okay.
president, James K. Polk.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Yes, he was.
Adam.
I said no.
Mike.
I also said no.
Jeff.
I also said no.
He was not.
Ah,
James K. Polk was never vice president.
He was
right.
a They Might Be Giants song.
Ruth.
All
I
right,
got the
next.
president before him mixed up with a different one.
It's all good. Next one here, Martin Van Buren.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Mike.
Yes, he was.
Jeff.
Yes.
Ian.
Yes.
Adam.
Yes.
All correct there. Yeses across the board. He was Andrew Jackson's vice president, or one of
For
Andrew Jackson's.
One of them. Yeah.
One of them. For
Next
one of the
up.
worst presidents, yeah.
Next up, Richard Nixon, Tricky Dick.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Jeff.
Yes. Yes. Nixon was.
Mike.
Yes.
Ian.
Yes.
Adam.
Yes.
Yeses across the board, and he was the vice president for
Ike.
Ike.
Dwight D. Eisenhower, Ike himself. That's right. All right. We are on to question number 5 of your point builder round. Your president,
Vice president.
Rutherford. Sorry. No, your president, Rutherford B. Hayes.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Yep. All right. So let's go, Adam.
No.
Ian.
No.
Mike.
Nope.
Jeff.
Make that a clean no sweep.
That is a clean no sweep. That's correct. All right. Next up, JQA himself, John Quincy Adams.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
All right. Mike.
No, he was not.
Ian.
No.
Adam.
No.
Woodhead.
Another clean no sweep.
It is a clean no sweep. Nicely done. All right. Number 7, Teddy Roosevelt.
Locked in.
Locked
Locked
in.
in.
Locked in.
Ian.
And yes, he was.
Adam.
Yes, he was.
Jeff.
Yep.
Mike.
Now we have a yes sweep.
We have a yes sweep.
And he really
All right.
didn't like the president before him.
Mm-mm.
Or the president after him, for that matter. Next up, I think we joked about him earlier, Warren G. Harding.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in. I'm gonna say no.
Jeff.
I am going to say that Jerry was never the vice presidential. There was never the vice presidential dick.
There was later, but okay. Adam.
No.
Mike.
No.
Clean no sweep there. All right. We got 2 left. Let's go with Woodrow Wilson.
Where'd everyone
Locked in.
go?
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Jeff.
No.
Adam.
No.
Ian.
No.
Mott.
9.
Okay.
Like that was a 9, by the way, because I was either going to do 9 or yet, and it sort of turned into a 9. But no was what I was going for.
All right. Last.
Katie Heron gruel.
Your last president, Zachary Taylor.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
I like how when Jeff thinks, like, you can actually hear the chair creak as he rolls his head back and looks at the thing, presumably where all of his notes are. Jeff,
Right.
what'd you come up with?
I said no.
Ian.
I think he was too busy in war, so I said no.
Mott.
I said no.
Adam.
Sweep no.
All right, which means 3 of you have swept the point build around. Ian, you only missed 1, so Ian, you're going with 18 points. Mike, Jeff, Adam, you all have 20.
Whoop, whoop.
We are moving into round number 1. Standard lock-in rules apply. These might be a little more difficult than the point build around, so let's see how we do. Just as a reminder, these are worth 10 points apiece. There have been 2 men who have served as vice president under 2 different presidents. One served under Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, while the other under John Quincy Adams and Andrew Jackson. Name one of those vice presidents. For a bonus 2 points, name the other.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Okay, I'll lock in. And I suppose I'm
All
going
right.
first.
Yeah, go ahead. What do you got?
So the first one is George Clinton, not from the Funkadelic. And the second, I don't like it, but I'll go with Van Buren.
Jeff.
Yeah, I had Mr. Funkadelic himself, George Clinton, as one answer. And the other answer, unfortunately, his terms were nullified by the NCAA. Ironically, is John C. Calhoun. Making a nullification joke there.
Yep.
I'm not sure how far that
yeah.
got.
I appreciated it. It was good.
Yeah, yeah, it was good.
Adam.
Same. I said the same as Jeff. Mr. Parliament, Funkadelic himself, and Calhoun.
Mike.
Yeah, P. Funk and George Clinton and John C. Calhoun.
Yeah.
All right. 3 you picking up 12. Ian, you're picking up 10. We're going to move into question number 2. There is one former U.S. vice president whose last name is shared with a city where a well-known assassination took place. Name that former VP and mayor of Philadelphia.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Oh, locked in.
Okay, locked in.
All right, we'll go in a different order this time. Mike.
I locked in with Dallas.
Adam.
Took me too long to get there. I was thinking of all of the assassinations except for that one.
Yep.
Dallas.
Ian.
I got hung up trying to think of where Garfield got assassinated, but eventually I landed on Dallas.
Jeff.
Yeah, I got to Dallas eventually too, but like Adam, I was like, Washington, Buffalo,
Yeah, exactly. Memphis. Yeah.
Yep.
right?
We are looking for James K. Polk's president, George M. Dallas. Nicely done. Y'all got there. All right, we're moving on to question number 3 in round number 2. What alliteratively named vice president's first name is shared with a Carthaginian general who was the namesake for a literary and film villain?
Locked in.
Locked in.
Oh, locked in.
Locked in.
Ian.
Hannibal Hamlin.
Adam.
Hannibal Hamlin.
Woodhead.
That's correct, Clarice. It is Hannibal Hamlin.
Mike.
I'm still trying to process what just happened, but yes, I also locked in with Hannibal Hamlin.
Unfortunately, none of us are having Chianti.
Yeah, I know. I'm having an old friend for dinner.
I did have some fava beans for dinner, though, so there
Yeah,
is
there
that.
you go. Nice.
All right. Hannibal Hamlin is a correct answer. Nicely done to the 4 of you. We are on to our last question from round number 2. Here we go. What, quote, radical Republican who served as vice president under Ulysses S. Grant was a founding member of the Free Soil Political Party and has a last name that is shared with a Chicago-based sports equipment manufacturer?
Locked in.
Locked in.
I guess I'll lock in.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm locked in.
All right, let's go. Let's go bottom to top this time. Adam, what'd you come up with?
So I know that at least one of Grant's terms, his vice president was Colfax. That doesn't ring a bell with a sports team, but I couldn't a sports equipment company, but I couldn't come up with anything else, so I went with Colfax.
Ian.
The same thing. I couldn't think of anything, so I tried to go to the sports equipment angle and came up with Spalding.
Mott.
Very similarly to Adam, I got hung up on Colfax for a while because I couldn't remember who his second vice president was. Finally got there. I think it was Henry Wilson. I locked him with just Wilson, though, but I think it was Henry Wilson.
Woodhead.
Yeah, I just went with Colfax.
Mike gonna pick up the points there. It was Henry Wilson.
That was the other side of my coin, Spalding or Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know any sports manufacturing things. It's not a good knowledge base. Yeah. Right.
Found that out yesterday in Learned League too.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
that one I got because I used to swim.
Oh,
but...
that'll do it. Yeah.
I had no idea on that one, but
all your sports equipment knowledge from the movie Castaway.
I actually figured there was going to be something in the Battle of the Brains that was tied to Chicago, and that's one of the things that came up when I was researching.
Oh, cool.
Was Wilson being headquartered in Chicago. All right. We are moving into our wager round. Your scores going into your first wager round. Mike has 62. Jeff, you have 52. Adam, you have 52. Ian, you're hanging tough with 48. You are the Donnie Wahlberg of the episode.
Not sure what that means, but okay.
Because you're hanging tough, but it's okay. Take it step by step. You'll find you have the right stuff.
Oh, damn. Okay.
That was well done. I have to admit.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got a lot of experience. He's clearly not a new kid.
Listen, Mike's got a lot of experience working. You might say he has a sixth sense.
Very
like
good.
what you did there.
Wahlberg. But sure.
Nope, same Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Same Wahlberg.
Really? That was Donnie?
That was Donnie.
Yeah, it was Donnie.
Donnie. Yeah.
Huh, okay.
All right, here's how this wager round is going to go. I hope you paid attention during that last round because I am going to read you 4 summaries of events that impacted the vice presidents that we just talked about. And if you're keeping track, we talked about 5.
Mm-hmm.
You have to match the event or the sentence that I'm saying to the vice president we talked about.
Okay.
I am going to read you all 4 clues. I will then give you 30 seconds to decide if you're playing or passing. If you play, you must wager at least 1 point per clue with a maximum of 5 points per clue. If you pass, you will not answer any of these, but you will also not risk losing points.
See, now I'm really glad I didn't add flavor text to one of my answers.
Right.
It would be dangerous in this game. So
we're not getting Parliament Funkadelic questions. Is what you're saying?
No.
Damn it.
Here are your 4. Not 3, 4. Here are your 4 clues. Clue number 1. This vice president cast the tie-breaking vote that prevented the recharter of the First Bank of the United States. All right, your second clue. This vice president's wife alleged that then Secretary of War John Eaton and his wife Peggy Eaton were engaged in an adulterous affair, thus kicking off the Petticoat affair. Okay, question number 3, or clue number 3. While running for vice president, this man was caught up in the Credit Mobilier scandal, where he took bribes by buying discounted shares in a Union Pacific Railroad subsidiary in exchange for favorable votes in Union Pacific Railroad's favor. All right, your final clue. This vice president called for the annexation of the Oregon Territory and the annexation of all of Mexico during the Mexican-American War. You now have 30 seconds to decide if you're going to pass or play.
I'll play.
I'll play.
I'll play.
I'll play.
Okay, lock in your answers when you're ready. You have up to 1 minute.
Fuck it. I'm locked in.
Yeah, I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
Okay, I'll lock in. Yeah, I'll lock in.
All right. Let's start with wagers first. Mike, 1 through 4. Read your wagers to me.
I wagered 5s across the board because I'm crazy like that.
Woodhead.
Yeah, I went whole hog on this one too.
Enough about your wedding night. Ian.
I varied it up. I have 1, 5, 4, and 1.
Adam.
Same as Ian, but different order. 5, 1, 1, 4.
All right, let's go through these. Let's get some answers. Clue number 1. This vice president cost the tie-breaking vote that prevented the recharter of the First Bank of the United States. Let's start with Ian. What'd you have there? Who did you have there?
Well, I know Jackson was not a fan of the bank, so I said Van Buren.
Adam.
I said Calhoun because I thought that was the First Bank of the United States was part of the controversy that got him not renewed, not selected the second time Jackson ran.
Woodhead.
So yeah, I couldn't remember when in Jackson's term it happened. So yeah, it was kind of a coin flip, and the coin landed on Calhoun.
Mott.
I thought it was earlier than that, so I said Clinton.
The correct answer is the funky one himself, George Clinton.
Oh,
It was before.
Okay.
Mike, you're picking up 5 points. Jeff, you're losing 5. Adam, you're losing 5. Ian, you're losing 1. We're moving on to question number 2. This vice president's wife alleged that then Secretary of War John Eaton and his wife Peggy Eaton were engaged in an adulterous affair, thus kicking off the petticoat affair. Let's start this one with Jeff.
Yeah, well, see, I picked George Clinton on this one.
Adam.
same as me. Same with me. I did not know this one. I picked Clinton.
Ian.
This one I have a flashcard for. This is the first VP to resign. This is Calhoun.
Mike.
I had the same logic. I thought that Calhoun may have resigned because I thought I remembered there being something about him being unpopular because of this whole thing with his wife and the petticoat affair. So I also said Calhoun.
John C. Calhoun is a correct answer. So in that one, Mike, Ian, you're picking up 5 each. Jeff, you're losing 5. Adam, you're losing 1. Clue number 3. While running for vice president, this man was caught up in the Credit Mobilier scandal, where he took bribes by buying discounted shares in a Union Pacific Railroad subsidiary in exchange for favorable votes for Union Pacific Railroad. Jeff, let's start with you. Who'd you have?
I remember the Credit Mobilier was Grant, so I figured it had to be Wilson.
Mike.
Yeah, and now that I'm looking at it, I should have put Wilson, but I originally had him for something else, and I moved it around, and I forgot to revisit it because I'd already. Anyway, long story short, I put Hamlin, but I know it's not right.
Adam.
I put Wilson, which was mostly a guess. I didn't know this one, but time period seemed right.
Yep. Ian.
I thought this had to do with the XYZ or was it XYZ affair? So I thought that was Harding.
No, unfortunately, this is Henry Wilson.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Jeff, your logic there is spot on.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, you're picking up 5. Adam, you're picking up 1. Mike, you're losing 5. Ian, you're losing 4. So we are on to our final clue. This vice president called for the annexation of the Oregon Territory and the annexation of all of Mexico during the Mexican-American War. Who is it? Ian, who'd you come up with?
I have a hard time remembering when the Mexican-American War was, so I just went with Polk.
Adam.
You were looking for the vice president, right?
Correct. We're looking for the
Okay.
vice president.
So
Yeah.
you have the time period right, Ian, but the vice president was Dallas.
Okay.
Jeff.
Yep, Dallas, 54-40 or fight.
Mott.
Yep, I locked in with Dallas because I knew Polk was president during that time period.
All right, I'm going to tabulate scores.
Incidentally, there's an intersection here in Raleigh where State Highway 54 and Interstate 40 intersect. And this cracked me up way more than it ever should have for like the first 3 years I moved here.
That's a place where you're more likely to get road rage.
Oh my
5440 and fight.
All right, coming out of the first of our wager rounds, Mike, you picked up 10 points there. You're going to bring your score to 72. Jeff, you got 2 right, got 2 wrong. You're going to stay at 0, so you're going to have 52 points. Adam, you lost 5, lost 1, gained 1, and gained 4. You're going to lose 1 point. You're going to be at 51. Ian, you lost 4, lost 1, and gained 5. You're going to lose 1 point. You're going to be at 47. Still anybody's game. We ready for round 2?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Round 2, same rules apply. Or this is actually round 3. Sorry, we're ready for round 3. Round 3, same rules apply. Let's kick it off with this question. What man, the first vice president under William McKinley, has a last name that is shared with the capital city of Tasmania, Australia, and a first name shared with a famous popcorn brand from the Midwest?
Locked in.
I'm going to lock in.
Yeah, I'll lock in, I suppose.
Mike, whenever you're ready.
Yep. Shit. Oh gosh, I'm trying to. I can remember. I got to his first name. I'm trying to remember what his last name is. It's Garrett. Garrett something. I think. If I'm thinking of the right one.
Sure, it's not Nuts on Clark.
And this is where being bad at geography is biting me.
Natalie's listening, and she's terribly disappointed.
I know.
So is Jane, for that matter.
I know.
So is Bluey.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't care about Bluey here.
I don't think any of them are from Tasmania, though.
No, I don't think so either. But I still know the capital of Delaware.
Fair enough.
You didn't say Delaware, though. Did you?
No.
No.
I'm making an approximation of they should know.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. I caught back up. Damn it! I'm mad. I'm mad. I'm not gonna get it's Garrett something. I cannot remember that. I cannot remember his last name. Garrett Coulter.
All right, Jeff.
I had no effing clue on the first name, but I'm reasonably certain the capital of Tasmania is Hobart. So I went with that.
That's Garrett Hobart.
Yep.
Ian?
Yeah, I haven't gotten to Tasmania in my States of Australia deck yet. So I tried this from the Chicago angle. I know Jay's made potato chips, so I went with Jay. Maybe they made popcorn too.
Adam?
I got there the same way Jeff did. The capital of Tasmania is, in fact, Hobart.
We are looking for Garrett Hobart. Nicely done. So, Adam, Jeff, you're picking up 10 points apiece.
Nice
Mike,
job.
Ian, you're not losing anything. We're on to question number 2. What Indiana senator and former vice president under Teddy Roosevelt is the namesake for one of the top 5 most populous cities in Alaska?
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Oh, no, that's stupid. It's not going to come to me. I'll lock in.
All right. Ian, let's start with you. What'd you come up with?
Anchorage. I know.
Adam.
I think the first name is Charles, but I'm just locking in with the last name of Fairbanks.
Woodhead.
Yeah, I didn't know the first name either, but I vaguely remembered the existence of a vice president named Fairbanks. Were I forced to guess the first name, I think I would have guessed Douglas, but I think Charles is sounding a little bit more right to me right now that you mentioned it. But yeah, I just locked in with Fairbanks.
Mott.
There is a famous Douglas Fairbanks, though.
I was going to say.
Oh yeah, is that the actor?
He's an actor. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. No, almost exactly what Adam said. I was like, I think it's Charles Fairbanks, but I just locked in with Fairbanks.
It is Charles W. Fairbanks, or Charlie to his friends.
The
Aw.
Chuckster.
The
Chuckster. The Chuckster, yes.
Good old
Chucky.
Chaz.
The
Good old
life of
Chaz.
the party. The life of the party. That's why I had to go all the way to Alaska to get a city after him. All right. So, Mike, Jeff, Adam picking up 10. Ian, you're picking up none there. We are moving on to question number 3 in round 3. What man, a Southern Democrat who lost the 1860 presidential election to Abraham Lincoln, served as VP under James Buchanan at the age of 36, making him the youngest VP in U.S. history?
Locked in.
Locked in.
All right. Let's start with Jeff.
Breckenridge.
Adam.
Breckenridge.
Mike.
The other John C. Breckenridge.
That's right.
Ian.
One of the also Rans, Breckenridge.
Makes an awesome vanilla porter as well.
Yep.
Honestly, Breckenridge is correct.
Not too far from Oscar Blues.
No. All right. We are on to question number 4 in round 3. Here's your clue. Quote, Senator, you're no Jack Kennedy, was a line from VP nominee Lloyd Benson during a televised VP debate. What man and author of the memoir Standing Firm was the target of that remark?
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
All right, let's go. Let's start with Mike.
Given who this person is, the Standing Firm thing made me think, well, that's a different concept of what a dictator might call to mind. But this is
I see
Dan
what you did
Quayle.
there.
Adam.
It's Dan Quayle.
Jeff.
yes, it's absolutely Dan Quayle.
Ian.
Got a flashcard for it. It's Dan Quayle.
Dan Quayle is correct.
With an E.
Does the flashcard help with the Standing Firm?
It's the quote is one of the quotes I want to memorize
Right, yeah.
because it's just so funny.
It is great. It is great. And right, it's funny because I having seen that clip right after that when Quayle goes, Senator, that was uncalled for. I'm like, it really kind of was, but damn it, it was a great line.
Oh yeah, it was a good burn.
I mean, I think I watched that live.
Yeah.
I remember when that happened.
Yeah, well,
I
I
just
don't
realized
totally
that-
remember it because I would have been like, what, 7? But
Yeah.
It's a strange way to realize I'm the youngest one on the show. So that
We would have been just back from Japan, so like I don't even know how much of that presidential election's like we even caught.
all right.
yeah, the only things I remember about that are the tank and that election cycle, or the tank
Oh, yeah.
and the potato incident.
That's right.
Yeah, same here.
It's one of the first elections that I like really paid attention to.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
13-ish. Yeah.
I mean, everyone remembers their first election. So
But,
Standing Firm.
Adam's like, I'm never coming back here.
fine. I've been on Brewer's show.
That's
Oh
true.
gosh, yeah, this is tame.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, by the way, how do we end up with a show more raucous than this? We have got our round 3 scores. Mike, you're picking up 30. That brings you to 102. Jeff, you and Adam are picking up all 40 points. Jeff, you're at 92. Adam, you're at 91. Ian, you're picking up 20. That brings you to 67. And we are in to our second wager round of the episode. So again, you'll have a reasonable amount of time to digest the clues, and then I will ask you to lock in and decide if you're going to play or sit out this wager round. Here, well, first off, I hope you paid attention to that last round of questions and answers. Here's your first clue. This vice president refused to resign from the boards of corporations that he said would not have business before the federal government. He stated, quote, "It would be highly ridiculous for me to resign from the different companies in which I am an officer and a stockholder." Clue number 2. This vice president allegedly upset the actual president when he was told to come to the White House and ask for, quote, Harriet Lane. Feeling slighted by thinking he would not get to meet with the president, he thusly refused. Later, he learned it was a code that would clue the White House staff to usher him into a private meeting with the president. All right. Clue number 3. Finally a shorter clue. He was the first vice president to not cast a single tie-breaking vote as president of the Senate. Clue number 4. This vice president was named the head of the Council on Competitiveness with a goal of increasing the U.S.'s economic competitiveness in a global economy. And gentlemen, now is the time that I ask, are you going to play or pass this round? Mike, we'll start with you.
I'm going to play.
Jeff.
I'll play.
Adam.
I'm gonna pass and see if it bites me.
Ian.
I'll play.
3 players in this round. Go ahead and lock in your wagers when you're ready.
I'm locked in.
Yeah, I'm locked in.
Yeah, I'll lock in.
All right, Mike. Clues 1 through 4. Read me your wagers.
I just went 2s across the board on this one. I didn't feel strongly about it.
Jeff.
I went 1-1-1-5.
Ian.
Like Mott, I didn't feel strong about any of these, so I want 1s all the way down.
All right. Everyone get your 1s up. No wrestling fans here is like the one wrestling reference I know. Wait, those are Ian, I did not know you were a Finger 11 fan. Sorry. That joke is going to kill for really me and Rowan Ward, and that might be about it. But all right, let's go ahead. Let's get our answers here. Clue number 1. This vice president refused to resign from the boards of corporations that he said would not have business before the federal government. He stated, quote, it would be highly ridiculous for me to resign from the different companies in which I am an officer and stockholder. Jeff, what vice president do you think said that?
I had no blinking idea, so I just said Hobart.
Mike.
It sounded like a Breckenridge thing to me. There was something about it that just seemed like a dickish thing that he would have done.
Ian.
I also had no clue, so I just went Fairbanks.
Jeff, you're going to pick up the points. That was Garrett Hobart. So, Jeff, you're going to pick up 1. Ian, you're losing 1. Mike, you're losing 2. Question number 2. This vice president allegedly upset the president when he was told to come to the White House and ask for, quote, Harriet Lane. Feeling slighted by thinking he would not get to meet the president, he thusly refused. Later, he learned that it was a code that would clue him into a private meeting with the president. What vice president was it? Let's start with Mike.
Again, didn't have a whole lot of thunder behind it. I said Fairbanks.
Woodhead.
Yeah, this felt like the kind of weird bullshit that Roosevelt would have been involved in. So I figured it was either Teddy or Fairbanks, and I flipped the coin and went Fairbanks.
Ian.
All right, so yeah, Roosevelt did not like McKinley at all, so I figured that this was Teddy.
Unfortunately, no correct answers here. This was actually Breckenridge.
This was Breckenridge. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, shit, now one of my other answers is wrong.
Well, let's find out which one.
So, Chris, a point of clarification, though, before we move on.
Mm-hmm.
For the wager rounds, it's strictly the vice presidents that were answers to the questions in the round, right? Okay, so
Correct.
Roosevelt was not a potential answer.
He could have potentially been an answer had his name actually come up in a question. I did not ask a question about Roosevelt in this round.
Okay, but it's any name that
his
comes
name
up.
did in fact come up in question 2.
Okay.
And
you're right.
I'm not
Yes,
that
it would have
great
been-
at verboten, which this is partially inspired by, apparently.
Yeah. No, that's an important clarification because I didn't realize it was any name that could come up.
If a vice president's name comes up in a question or answer, it is fair game, but I have to say their name for it to be fair game here.
Yep, tracking. Okay, cool.
All right, question or clue number 3. A shorter clue. He was the first vice president to not cast a single tie-breaking vote as president of the Senate. Mike.
Well, I said Hobart, which I now know is wrong.
Jeff.
Yeah, I guess it's not Breckenridge.
Yeah.
Ian.
Same, not Breckenridge.
No, that would be Fairbanks. Old Chucky himself. Breckenridge, at a time when there was a lot of turmoil, I would imagine he would have had to be involved at some point.
Fair. Yeah, I guess
There. Yeah.
that makes sense.
All right, clue number 4. This vice president was named the head of the Council of Competitiveness with a goal of increasing the U.S.'s economic competitiveness in a global economy. Mike.
Coupled with global economy, and this just seemed like the quintessential. We got to give Danny something to do. Let's put him on the Council of Competitiveness. Oh boy, Dan Quayle is what I said.
Woodhead.
Yeah, this is the only one I was reasonably certain about, so I put Quayle.
Ian.
I couldn't see anybody previous to, say maybe the 1930s actually naming something the Council of Competitiveness. So I went with Quayle.
Right. Yeah, it felt like McKinsey needed to have existed for that name to exist, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Well, Dan Quayle is the correct answer there. That means we are moving on to round number 4. Mike, you're sitting at an even 100. Jeff Woodhead, you're knocking at the door at 96. Adam, you have 91. Ian, you're hanging tough with 65. Round 4, question number 1. Former Vice President Richard Mentor Johnson was the only vice president to be elected under which constitutional amendment after South Carolina refused to endorse him and left the VP election in the hands of the U.S. Senate?
Locked in.
I guess I'll lock in. It doesn't make any sense, but I'll lock in.
Yeah, I'll lock in too.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I think I'm in.
All right, Jeff, what'd you go with?
Well, one could argue that every vice president since Aaron Burr was elected under the 12th Amendment.
Truth.
So I went with the 11th.
Adam.
I did say the 12th, but I think Jeff's point is a valid one.
Ian.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense at all to me, really, but I went with the 12th.
Mott.
I went with the 12th. I thought there was some provision about the Senate casting a vote for the vice president if nobody gets a majority of electoral votes.
And my understanding is that is part of the 12th Amendment.
Right. Sorry, if I didn't say 12th, that was what I looked at.
Yes. So the 12th is what we're looking for there.
Okay.
But
Jeff?
I completely see Jeff's point about everyone since
because the
Burr,
12th also has the thing about because before that it was the second place finisher.
Right.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
it was the amendment that made it so that vice presidents were elected
by
separately.
the electors. Yeah.
But the question,
Well, the 11th is wrong, but
Yeah.
it left it in the hands of the U.S. Senate. So we're looking for the 12th Amendment.
Yep.
So Jeff, you're picking up none. Mike, Adam, Ian, you're all going to pick up 10 points. And you all did very well on my first question that did not have a vice president as an answer. Moving on to question number 2. Speaking of Richard Mentor Johnson, he was viewed as a burden to the Democrats due to his relationship with multiple black and mixed race women, including his common-law wife, Julia Chin. Because of this, what sitting president ran for re-election without a running mate, which he subsequently lost?
Yep. Locked in.
All right, I'm locked in.
I guess I'll lock in.
Oh, I almost forgot I had another beer. Real
All
quick,
right,
this is from the Fairhope Brewing Company, which is down south end of Alabama in Fairhope. It is an amber. I've never had it before, so I'm looking forward to it. The other beers that I've had from this brewery are very good, especially the Judge Roy Bean coffee stouts. Very good from this. So
I never dated an amber, but it wasn't for lack of trying.
indeed.
What was the question again?
I'm sorry, I sidetracked us.
Sorry.
That's fine, I like
Here's your question one more time, or as many times as you want it. But
I already locked it. It's fine.
oh, who has not locked in yet?
I have not locked in. I'm trying to rack my brain and think of all of the people who in the early 1800s ran for president as a sitting president and lost. And am kind of just ending up settling on Martin Van Buren.
Mike.
I believe Jeff settled on the correct answer. I think it's Martin Van Buren. That's what I locked in with as well.
Ian.
I settled as well on Tyler.
Adam.
You're down with MVB.
Yeah, you know me.
The Dutch moist maker himself, Martin Van Buren, is a correct answer. Question number 3 in round number 4 goes like this. Vice Presidents Mike Pence and Thomas Riley Marshall attended what private all-male liberal arts school in Indiana that currently has fewer than 1,000 enrolled in their undergraduate program?
I'll lock in.
Yeah, I'm locked in. I'm not going to come up with anything better than that.
I'll lock in.
Jeff, did you lock in yet?
No, I'm still hemming and hawing. I'm or as it's called, pulling a Mike Mott.
Yeah, right.
Learning league all over again.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I feel like the school's name is on the tip of my tongue. I feel like it's that other one that's in Terre Haute that's not Rose Holman, and I can't. I might be completely wrong on that one, so I could be just geographically in the entirely wrong part of the state. Yeah, I've got nothing, so just gonna go with I'm just gonna say Rose Holman, even though it's not right.
Mike.
At least Jeff got to like a liberal arts college. I was like,
It's actually a tech school.
Well, no, I know, but I just say like a smaller. That's what I meant, like a smaller college. I was like, I don't know, schools in Indiana. I was pretty sure. I was like, it wasn't Notre Dame, so I was like Purdue. Why not? It's wrong.
Adam.
I mean, I didn't know this. I tried to go through this from the college basketball route, and went with Valparaiso.
Ian.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I wasn't going to think of anything. It was similar to Learning League where I can think all day and still not come up with an answer. So I just went with Purdue.
I think it's about time Chris got some points in this game. We're looking for that school is a school by the name of Wabash College.
The Cannonballs.
Yeah, the Cannonballs, exactly. Wabash, yeah.
All right, question number 4.
Good question, though.
What man, the vice president under Calvin Coolidge, was a co-recipient of the Nobel Prize for his work on World War I reparations? The 3-point plan that bears his name staggered the payment plan for Germany, provided a loan to stabilize German currency, and ended the French and Belgian occupation of Ruhr.
Locked in.
That's literally the question, Jeff.
Locked in.
Fine, I'll lock in, even though I know I'm wrong.
I'll lock in.
Everybody in?
Yep.
Let's get some answers. Let's start with Adam.
I think that the Coolidge's vice president was Dawes. Dawes.
Oh,
Jeff?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Adam's right now that I hear it. I went with Hughes, even though I'm pretty sure he was under Woody Woodpecker.
You mean Wilson's wife? Mike.
Oh.
She was the president for a year.
Yes, she was.
Mike.
Yeah, I think this was the bucket of warm piss guy. The guy that I think Dawes was the guy that said that. But I also locked in with Dawes. I think I just locked in with Dawes, but I think we got another Charles on our hands.
Ian.
Yeah, I'm remembering something called the Dawes Plan now, but I didn't have anything, so I'm locking in with Wilson.
It was Charles Dawes. Nicely done. Nicely done. A little bit of a scores changing here. Mike, you're going to pick up 3 correct answers that round. That brings you up to 130. Mr. Woodhead, you picked up 1 correct answer. That puts you to 106. Adam, you're picking up 3. You're at 121. Ian, you picked up 1. You're at 75. It's time for our wager round for round 4. After a financial panic, this vice president took a 9-month leave of absence. went back to his farm, and opened a tavern. I shit you not. Time for clue number 2. This vice president made history by casting the first ever deciding vote as president of the Senate to confirm a cabinet member, and a controversial one at that. All right. Clue number 3. What vice president drew the ire of both the Senate and the president when, on Inauguration Day, he gave a speech to the Senate criticizing the filibuster, which annoyed many senators? Then forced the senators to be sworn in one by one instead of in groups. This drew the eyes of the press away from the president's inauguration. Okay, for those keeping track in our last round of questions, there were not 4, there were 5 vice presidents mentioned. Clue number 4. This man led the Senate to adopt a new rule allowing filibusters to be broken by 2/3 of voting senators. All right, Mike, you passing or playing?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm going to play.
Adam.
I'll play.
Woodhead.
I'll play. I guess I don't really have a choice.
Ian.
I'll pass.
Ian is going to pass. I've got 3 players. Let's go into this. Lock in your wagers now.
All right, I'm locked in.
Yeah, I'm locked in.
All right, I'll lock in.
All right, Mike, 1 to 4. Give me your wagers.
So again, I didn't feel very confident on this one. So again, I just did 2s across the board.
Jeff.
I did 1-3-1-3.
Adam.
1-5-1-1.
Let's go through this. Let's get ourselves some answers and distribute or take away some points. Clue number 1. After a financial panic, this vice president took a 9-month leave of absence, went back to his farm, and opened a tavern. I shit you not. Who was that? Adam.
Had no idea on this one. I went with Mentor Johnson.
Woodhead.
Yeah, exact same thing as Adam, actually.
Mike.
I didn't know either, but I thought Johnson was something else, so I said Van Buren.
This was Richard Mentor Johnson.
All
All right. Mike, you're losing 2. Jeff, Adam, you're picking up 1 apiece. Question number 2. This vice president made history by casting the first ever deciding vote as president of the Senate to confirm a cabinet member, and a controversial one at that. Jeff, what's your answer?
I felt like the whole barely confirming a cabinet member thing was a very recent development. So I said Mike Pence.
Mike.
Oh, I thought this was like ancient, so I said Johnson just because I'd already, or for some reason I thought I read something about this being Johnson.
Adam.
I also said Pence because I think that the cabinet confirmations not being filibusterable is a very, very recent thing.
Oh, good point.
So I think this was Pence, and I think it's Betsy DeVos, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, Betsy DeVos was sticking in my head too.
You know, I misread I misheard the question. I thought it was first to cast a tie-breaking vote in the Senate, period, not specifically for a cabinet position. That's why I was early. That makes way more sense.
Because Betsy DeVos was the candidate, Mike Pence is the correct answer. Mike, you're losing 2. Jeff, you're picking up 3. Adam, you're picking up 5. Going on to question number 3. What vice president drew the ire of both the Senate and the president when, on Inauguration Day, he gave a speech to the Senate criticizing the filibuster, which annoyed many senators, then forced the senators to be sworn in one by one instead of in groups? This drew the eyes of the press away from the president's inauguration. Mike, who'd you go with?
Well, I didn't remember this at all, but I went with Pence just because I was thinking of presidential ire.
Woodhead.
That level of genius?
Fuck me. I just guessed Riley because I had no fucking clue.
Adam.
This seemed like kind of a dick move, and Coolidge was kind of a dick, so I went with Coolidge.
Unfortunately not.
Vermonter shrugs.
There was probably a
This is actually
reason why he was so
Schulze.
quiet. He's busy biting his tongue.
This was Charles Dawes. So
Dawes,
no
yeah.
correct answers there. Adam, Jeff, you're losing 1 apiece. Mike, you're losing 2. In clue number 4, this man led the Senate to adopt a new rule allowing filibusters to be broken by a 2/3 of voting senator majority. Who was it? Jeff.
Well, I'm wrong because I thought this was in the 20s, and I reasoned that you had missed that you mentioned Coolidge, and so I guess Dawes.
Mike.
I forgot that you had mentioned Coolidge because I only had 5 written down, but I had around the same time frame, so I just went one president earlier, and I said Marshall.
Adam.
I said Dawes as well. I figured same as Jeff that it was in the 20s. I just had Coolidge and Dawes flipped because I knew it was still at 2/3 when you got to the 60s and the civil rights movement.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for Thomas Riley Marshall. Mike, you're going to pick the points up.
Nice. I'm glad I forgot you would have said Coolidge because I probably would have said Coolidge.
All right, Mike, I've got you losing 4. Jeff, you're breaking even.
Yep.
And then Adam, you're gaining 4. Your scores going into our final round of the game. Mike, you have a slight lead at 126. Adam's right behind you at 125. Jeff, you're sitting there at 106. Ian, you're hanging tough with 75 points. It all comes down to our final round. Let's see how this goes. Question number 1. Though he didn't join the party until 1795, for part of his term as vice president, John Adams was a member of the Federalist Party. How many other vice presidents were member of this long ago, now defunct party?
Locked in.
I'm going to lock in.
I'm going to lock in.
Everybody in? Mike.
I said 0. I couldn't think of any.
Woodhead.
I said 2.
Adam.
I also said 0.
Ian.
I'm splitting the difference. I couldn't think of any, and I don't think it lasted very long, so I just went with 1.
The correct answer is 0. John Adams is technically the only vice president out of the Federalist Party.
The reason I asked is because I can't remember which, but I think there was one vice president who was a member of the Federalist, but then increasingly became more
Democratic Republican.
More Democratic Republican, exactly.
Yeah. Wasn't it Burr?
It might have been Burr, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Burr.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds right.
Because I was trying to count Burr, and then I thought maybe Madison's Veep was, but yeah.
All right, Mike, Adam, you're going to pick up the points there. We're moving on to question number 2. What man, the vice president under Franklin Pierce, is often believed to have been in a romantic relationship with President James Buchanan, including the two living together from 1840 until his death in 1853?
Locked in.
I'll lock in.
I'm going to lock in.
I'm going to hazard a completely random guess and say Hayes. I don't even know what the first name would be there. I'm just going to say Hayes because why the fuck not?
Adam.
I know the story and I could not pull the name. I went with Wheeler, even though I don't think that's right.
Ian.
Like Adam, I know the story. I've memorized the president. But as for who the other guy was, I have no idea. So I just went with Lucky Johnson.
Mike.
I actually in my admittedly very shallow.
I mean, that was the right question to go for a Lucky Johnson.
It really was, yeah.
Let's be honest.
It's a great
And by the way, I think there is a chance that you are right.
That's
I do too, actually.
in my admittedly very shallow dive on vice presidents leading up to this, I encountered the fact that this person was Pierce's vice president. Apparently, did not dive deep enough into his particular Wikipedia article, but I'm pretty sure William King was Franklin Pierce's vice president.
William R. King is what we're looking for. Mike, you're going to pick up the points there. We're moving on to question number 3. 2 men in U.S. history have had the distinction of serving as the presiding officers in both chambers of the U.S. Congress. One who served under Franklin Roosevelt and had the nickname Cactus Jack. The other's first name is shared with the last name of at least one character from the musical Hamilton. Name both of these men.
Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you. Locked in.
Locked in.
Am I odd man out again?
No, Ian's thinking too.
No, I'll lock
Okay.
in. Now you are.
Oh, God damn it. All right. I'm thrown for a loop here because I was reasonably certain that Gerald Ford served as Speaker of the House and as Vice President, which would fulfill the requirements of the question. But I can't remember a character from Hamilton with the last name Gerald. So... But I'm going to go with that anyway. I'm going to say Gerald Ford. And the other one is the only vice president under Roosevelt to have the name John would be John Nance Garner. So I would go with that. So yeah, Garner and Ford. That's my guess.
Mott.
I got to John Nance Garner the same way Jeff did, as I figured, okay, if his nickname was Jack, it was probably Garner. And the other one, actually a little funny story from Jeff and my college years to give you an idea of, we've been nerds for a very long time. The first time I ever encountered this name was when we looked up, what if the Lincoln assassins had also succeeded in assassinating Johnson as well? Who would have been the president in that point? And the answer was the current Speaker of the House at the time was a man named Schuyler Colfax.
Schuyler Colfax. It became a meme. Like we just started randomly saying the name Schuyler Colfax to each other throughout most of college.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but we absolutely did.
Adam.
So I went the same as Mike did there. It's definitely the Roosevelt one is definitely John Nance Garner. I knew he was Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
And I was running down all the Hamilton characters, and I was on the male characters, and I was thinking, okay, running through all the characters, and I was like, sisters. Wait a second, and it's Schuyler Colfax.
Ian.
Yeah, I had Garner, and the only character I could think of was Schuyler, so Schuyler Colfax.
Garner and Colfax are correct. Jeff, to my knowledge, Gerald Ford was never Speaker of the House.
Yeah, the Republicans never had the majority while he was.
Oh, was he minority leader?
Minority leader for years.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
All right, we're on to
So my mom used to work for the RNC and actually knew Gerald Ford because she worked there in like 72, 73, and 74. So I kind of had remembered him being more important than I guess he was.
That's fair.
We are on to our last question of the main game before the wager round. Here we go. What man who had a short-lived 20-month vice presidential run under James Monroe is the namesake for a political portmanteau that has become a hot topic of political discourse following the recent events in both heavy red and blue states?
Locked in.
Locked in.
Chris, I'm gonna lock in, but can you confirm Monroe and not Madison?
There is a chance I typed the wrong James.
Yeah, actually, I kind of.
Yeah.
Because I know I know what the answer is, but I also know who Monroe's vice president was. So and they're two different
No,
things.
because I think you're right. I think I typed the wrong one, Monroe. Hold on.
Yeah. Not trying to be pedantic, but I also have a brain.
No, it's important to get this right. I apologize. I will own
You
that.
have a brand.
You don't have to try to be pedantic.
James Madison is correct, Mike.
Madison,
it is Madison, not Monroe. I apologize. I knew that too, and just typing fast, I jacked that up, so I apologize. But I think we all have the right answer here, Mike.
Yeah, you're all good. I hadn't locked in yet, but it's Gary.
Adam.
It is indeed Elbridge Gary.
Woodhead.
Yep, it is Mr. Gary himself.
Ian.
Now pronounced gerrymander, it is Gary.
Well, fuck him. We're going to pronounce his name incorrectly if he's going to do this bullshit.
Eldridge Jerry or Eldridge Gary, whatever you want to call it, whether it's a hard or soft J, a G. But yeah, that is the correct answer. You're all going to pick up the points there. Mike, you swept that round. That's going to bring you to 166 going into the wager round. Woodhead, you picked up 10 that round. You're going to be at 116. Adam, you picked up 30. That brings you to 155. Ian, you're picking up 20. That brings you to 95. You ready for your wager round question or clues? Are you ready for your wager round clues?
Let's do it.
Yep.
Sure.
Clue number 1. Of the role of vice president, what man said that it was, quote, not quite adopted to my character, too inactive and mechanical, and, quote, my country has, in its wisdom, contrived for me the most insignificant office that ever the imagination of man contrived. Clue number 2. While battling a bout of tuberculosis, he is the only vice president to be sworn into office on foreign soil as he was in Cuba recovering. Clue number 3. This man became the second vice president in a row to die in office.
Do you mean the 37th vice president in a row?
Well done. Bravo.
Nicely done.
Hey, Adam.
Yes.
Try not to suck any dick on the way to the parking lot, okay? All right. Clue number 4. In a letter published in the New York Times, this vice president recognized and rejoiced in King Victor Emmanuel III's victory in unifying Italy and encouraged Italy to set up a new republican government that protected religious freedoms regardless of faith and protected civil rights for everyone.
Can you repeat the second one?
I can. Before I do that, I have a surprise 5th wager round question for you.
Oof. Okay.
We're ending this with an opportunity to gain up to 25 points. Here is your 5th and final clue.
You son of a bitch. We scratch my wagering strategy out. Okay.
This vice president clashed with the current president, or with the president at the time, on several important issues, including the vice president's support of federal intervention to break up the, quote, General Motors sit-down strike. Are wagers locked in?
Yep.
Yep.
We got 5 here. Mike, read me your wagers 1 through 5.
I went 5 on the first 3 and 1 on the last 2. So 5, 5, 5, 1, 1.
Woodhead.
I just Leroy Jenkins this thing. So 5s, baby. Let's go.
Adam.
Also 5s across the board.
Go big or go home. Ian.
I'm already home. I don't know about the rest of you.
I was not so bold. I broke it up. 3, 2, 1, 2, 2.
Who told you my PIN code?
I just realized I should have caught up to this sooner. My math changed when Chris threw in a 5th question, so I should have wagered differently, but that's all right.
Everyone knows my PIN code is Bosco. All right, let's go through these one by one. Safe to assume you have your answers locked in, by the way.
Yes.
Everyone's good. Okay. On the role of vice president, what man said that it was, quote, not quite adopted to my character, too inactive and mechanical, and, quote, my country has, in its wisdom, contrived for me the most insignificant office that has ever the imagination of man contrived. Mike.
That is an Adams bloviation if I ever heard one. So I said Adams.
Woodhead.
Yeah, that absolutely sounded so John Adamsy.
Adam.
Yeah, Adams.
Adams.
Ian.
Adams.
Whenever I hear John Adams talk, I think of the line from The Office that Kevin says, where he goes something along the lines of, "Why say many word when few word work better?" That man could write and talk. John Adams is the correct answer. Clue number 2. Battling a bout of tuberculosis, he is the only vice president to be sworn into office on foreign soil as he was in Cuba recuperating. Woodhead.
I wasn't sure on this one or the next one. I guessed King for this one.
Ian.
Yeah, I wasn't sure on this one either. Again, like Adam, King.
Adam.
Yeah, I also said King was sort of a process of elimination thing. I thought I knew the other ones.
Mike.
Make it kings across the board. We got a 4 of a kind. I think I vaguely remember encountering this fact.
King is a correct answer. Nicely done. Clue number 3. This man became the second vice president in a row to die in office. Ian.
This one I was a little lost on. If you look at a picture of him, he doesn't look all that healthy to begin with, so I went with Jerry. Or Gary.
Woodhead.
Yeah, I also went with Mr. Mander himself.
Gary Mander.
Aaron.
Mott.
I also said Gary.
Adam.
Same with me.
You're all getting that correct. Eldridge Gary is what we're looking for. Clue number 4. In a letter published in the New York Times, this VP recognized and rejoiced in King Victor Emmanuel II's victory in unifying Italy. I'm not going to read the rest of that question. Mike, what was your answer?
I went with Colfax on this one.
Adam.
I also went with Colfax, just based on the time period. I had, I was pretty sure that unification of Italy was somewhere in the 1870s, 1880s timeframe.
Ian.
Yeah, I was having trouble placing the unification of Italy. I went with Pierce.
Woodhead.
Yeah, I also went Colfax.
Skylar Colfax is what we're looking for there.
I'm realizing my mistake now.
On to our final clue. This vice president once clashed with the president on several important issues, including the vice president's support of a federal intervention to break up the General Motors sit-down strike. Mike.
Makes sense why he didn't continue having him as his running mate in his second election, but I locked him with Garner.
Ian.
As the exact same thinking I had, Garner.
Woodhead.
I think it was more along the lines of the 5 vice presidents that you mentioned in the questions. Only one of them existed at the same time as General Motors Corporation. So that would be John Nance Garner.
Also true, but still.
Yeah.
Adam.
Yeah, same. I was, only one 20th century president or vice president on the list, and I went with Garner. Although, to add to the pedantry, Garner was the vice president for Roosevelt's first 2 terms.
Yeah.
Then
he was. You're absolutely right.
Then Henry Wallace for 1, then Truman.
You're absolutely right. Yep.
Since it's the last question, I could say the other names.
Right. Well, so my weird thing, one of my weird mnemonics was that both two of the presidents that changed running mates midway through multiple terms both went with Henry W's the second time around with Wilson and Wallace.
So this is the point in the game where we get to say we have a surprise 6th question.
Oh, jeez.
What?
We have a winner.
I'm game. I mean, whatever.
Do we get points if we get the winner?
In a really, really close game.
Really close.
Really close. Mike Mott, you're going to pick up the win. It ended up being a 3-point game, 183 to 180. You edged out Adam. Woodhead coming in third. Ian hanging tough. You are the Donnie Wahlberg of the episode, and if you've seen that man's abs, you know that's a hell of a compliment. Also, he's like 55, 60. You might be over 60.
Yeah.
Dude can still dance, and he could 100% still get it.
Back when I had hair, I was frequently compared to Joey McIntyre.
101, Ian.
Broke the Allison line.
You finish at 141. Mike, you are the winner tonight, my friend. So, Mike, how does that make you feel, first off?
So it's actually really funny. What happened was I took the kids to the pool on Sunday, and while they were playing in the pool, I pulled up the Wikipedia entry on vice presidents and just kept scrolling through it over and over again, trying to commit to memory who was whose vice president. And then they found a dead frog in the pool and proceeded to play with it, and I videoed that. So anyway, it was a very interesting Sunday. But that's basically that's the only justification that I have for being able to win this. But I learned a lot of things and a lot of vice presidential names that I did not know before. So it was still an interesting journey, and I, like I said, give me a specific topic and I'll actually enjoy diving in and studying on it. So that was a good time.
Apparently, John Adams would have thought more of the dead frog than the vice presidency.
Indeed.
Did anyone lick the frog, though? Is the most important question.
No.
Mike, I've met your kids. I'm surprised you're even playing with it. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, no. Actually, my younger kid, she is actually, she loves bugs and frogs and different things like that. She was like, the frog is so cute. And I was like, it's dead. She's like, no, it's alive. Its eyes are open. No, it's not looking at you. It's, it's just dead.
That's not a test
looking
that
through you.
needs to pass.
All right. Well, we have come to the end of our episode tonight. Real quick, let me ask, run through real quick. Jeff, did you have fun and would you play that type of game again?
Yeah, no, I like that format. That's a really good format. Once we got the hang of it, I think it was a fun one to play. Yeah, definitely take another crack at it.
Ian, what about you?
It was a fun format. Oddly enough, my Learn League American History score is my second best. I apparently just have a blind spot with vice presidents, but I like the format.
Everyone does.
Did you have fun, my friend?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Good.
Ian's mine's first.
Adam, my friend, did you have fun and what did you think of the game?
Oh yeah, this was great. I like the mixed up format where you've got the questions and then the recall, then the recall round. This was a lot of fun.
I'm not going to lie, Ian. I think I'm going to take your piece away from this, and maybe the next time we do this format, make it so you don't get to take notes. You have to rely all on recall.
I was actually thinking that, actually making it like that would really increase the challenge factor.
Oh yeah.
Even taking notes, I was missing people that you referenced that could come back. So
that's right.
For the first 3 or 4 or whatever it was, I wasn't taking notes, so I was basing it, like I said, like on verboten rules sort of thing. I was trying to pull names from the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I can't read my own handwriting anyway, so it made no difference.
All right. Before we get out of here, let's give you all a chance to plug anything you have to plug. Let's start with Adam.
So I always shout out my wife, Smart Bitches Trashy Books, Smart Podcast Trashy Books. But today I want to say one thing, which is we're in our first week of, for the most part, being empty nesters. Both kids off at college, and a lot of people, were like, "Oh my God, how are you handling it?" So I just want to say, for those of you out there that are parents, parenthood is an exercise in planned obsolescence. This is the point. You get you prepare them so they go and do their thing, and they gradually need you less and less and less. So if you're freaking out that your kids are on your own, if they're on your own, you did it right.
Yep. Amen.
I have to remind myself that on a daily basis as my daughter cries. Oh, this phase, I'm telling y'all. Ian, what do you got for us today?
So, PTE could use more money for an editor to cover all the shows. So, Siesta Key Spiced Rum is contact@drumcirclebrewing.com. Go ahead and email them. Email them even if you've emailed them before and let them know, hey, you should be a sponsor. That's all.
Not a sponsor. Should be.
Should be.
At this point, yeah.
Jeff.
Yeah, I can't think of too much to plug other than as the parent of a senior in high school, Adam, I totally feel what you're going through. But yeah, do not comply in advance. That's all I really got to say.
Yeah, amen to that.
And Mike.
First of all, now that I have tried Siesta Key Spiced Rum, I want to speak very highly of their product. and I got to try that at SportCon. I was like, okay, now I get it.
Did
Now
you
I get
try
it.
it out of a flask in Brian Nash's back pocket?
I mean, I can't say that didn't contribute to the flavor, but you know, regardless, it was very good. And the only other...
jeans sponsor should be.
He showed up in his tidy whities, so.
Yeah. The only other thing I can say is since I mentioned the pool frog, there is actually a little video on the Datacorns YouTube channel from this past week that I put together that is an ode to that particular frog. So if you want to check that out, we do a little random post every Wednesday. It's sometimes it's music, sometimes it's just something cute, but check that out. We are very gradually working on new material. It'll be a long time before that actually sees the light of day, but that's our little side project and we enjoy it. So
Jeremiah was a pool frog.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to support the show, you can be like our friends here and do that at patreon.com/PTEBB. We thank you for our patron subscribers. First off, thank you so much. Like, it allows us to pay Jacob Hine, who is an amazing editor, to pick up more and more of our work, which is awesome. If you are an editor and you're looking to maybe do some freelance work, feel free to reach out, pubtriviaexperience@gmail.com. Jacob is nearing capacity, and we would be looking to bring someone else on for, a show here and there. And we can talk about all that. But you know what? You heard enough from me. Check the show notes for all of our information, including our Discord server, which I think we can all admit we're on a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Don't tell our bosses. But you know what? You heard enough from me tonight for the Pub Trivia Experience. I have been Chris.
I've been Jeff.
I just realized this amber is called I Drink, Therefore I Amber, which is awesome. I have been Mike.
Who are any of us anyway?
And I've been Ian.
And we will see you next week with a new episode. Until then, have a good one.